Hi everyone, I'm Samantha Murphy, and along with Mitch Underhay and Tracy Wade, we form the consulting team for the development of the first official plan and land use bylaw for the rural municipality of West River, speaking to you today from the traditional and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq First Nations in Abequit, Prince Edward Island. This presentation is a pre-recorded version of the background that will form part of the public engagement session on January 25th. While we had hoped to be in person, with the current situation and public health recommendations, this online process is our best option at this time. We will be providing lots of time for you to share your thoughts and concerns, and we'll explain this as we go. This presentation will give you an overview of the timeline and process, the work completed to date, and what we heard during public consultation last fall. I will then go over the process of developing an official plan and land use bylaw for the community and outline next steps. As you can see by the timeline, we are seeking public input as we begin to develop plan policies and identify bylaw priorities. There is a very quick turnaround for this process, as we have obligations to conduct the legal review between March and May. Of course, there will be a formalized time for public input in late spring in the form of a public meeting. Hopefully that one will be in person. There has been a lot of work being done in the background and significant effort put into developing innovative ways to engage with the public, given the ongoing public safety concerns around the pandemic. Many of you would have participated in an online survey over the summer and early fall. We held our first public session in October with over 60 participants attending and several viewing the live stream. The consulting team also met with a number of stakeholder and rights holder groups, as noted in the table, and we are hoping to meet with a few more. Our team also submitted 3 documents to the municipality's planning board based on our research and feedback from the community so far. So just as a reminder, the main planning tools we have to use are the official plan, land use bylaw, and zoning map. The official plan contains statements about what the municipality wants to accomplish. It includes a number of things as listed in the slide, but the key and legally binding aspects are the policies and actions around themes of residential, commercial, industrial, environmental, coastal, and heritage issues. The official plan also includes a future land use map, which generally shows where development and land use priorities lay within the municipality. The land use bylaw outlines how the municipality will make those goals and actions happen through regulation. It is a set of regulations that covers non-conforming uses, subdivision and development, and processes for applying for and issuing development permits. The land use bylaw also sets standards that apply to all properties, such as lot sizes and setbacks, and establishes zone-specific uses and standards, and includes the zoning map. The graphic in this slide shows how those broad municipal goals and objectives are translated into various policies. Plan actions detail how the policies will be implemented, and then the land use bylaw includes the nitty-gritty on the rules and processes. Importantly, the official plan dictates what can be covered in the land use bylaw and how. Let's use an example to explain these concepts more clearly. So let's say that one of the municipality's main objectives is to protect and preserve significant natural features. The policy then explains what it is that council wants to achieve, in this case protecting and enhancing the quality of various surface water features in the municipality. From there, the action is to direct that the land use bylaw establish setbacks or buffer zones adjacent to watercourses. But to understand exactly what those setbacks or buffers are, the land use bylaw standards explain it. No altering or removing of vegetation or adding fill within 15 meters, approximately 50 feet, of a delineated watercourse or wetland. Here is the rural municipality of West River's boundaries. At this point, it is basically a blank slate when it comes to land use planning. This map depicts property boundaries, hiking trails, watercourses, and wetlands. Again, the goal of this project is to take that blank slate of the municipality and create land use policy and zoning. Public input and feedback are critical to doing this right. Participation by the community helps build a better plan. Now, there are no guarantees that everyone will agree with everything in the new plan, as you may recall from our first public session, but it is about balancing the needs and interests of the community. In that vein, we developed a project website which contains lots of information related to the process and findings so far. We did have a registration page that was required for members of the community to access the information. This registration information is never made public, but it would allow the team to track data on how many people were reading and participating in polls and where they were from. That being said, we recognize that the registration process may be a significant deterrent in participating. As such, we have removed the sign-in so that anyone can use the site without signing in. Finally, if you want to respond to questions and follow a conversation on the key topics, please join in on the website at planrmwr.ca. Beginning last summer, the project team sought input from the public in various ways. Polls and questions on the website, public surveys, stakeholder meetings, and so on. We took all of that feedback and presented the planning board with a report on what we heard. While there was lots of information gathered, here we'll just present some of the highlights. One of the most repeated values is that the rural qualities of the community continue. Farming landscapes, quality of life, flexibility and opportunities, and connections to nature were all part of the community being rural. Another main value is supporting the local community by using local services where they exist, making use of local amenities such as trails, parks, and beaches, and buying local products from neighbors. Protecting the natural environment is another key priority for the community, including drinking water sources, flood mitigation and erosion, and salmon spawning areas. In terms of what community members want to see, there was strong sentiment that the plan and bylaw needed to have a rural lens and not be as controlling as more urban planning documents. Support for flexible economic development, like home-based businesses, was important, and that real solutions to environmental challenges be considered. In PEI, official plans include policies based on 4 major themes: social, physical, economic, and environmental. Each municipality has a unique context for setting those policies. In the rural municipality of West River, we know that more than 90% of the housing in the community is made up of single detached dwellings. There has been significant development pressure in the recent decade. We'll talk more about this in the physical section. Heritage and culture are important concepts for the community, and recreational amenities are very important for community members. One of the most significant cultural features of the community is that the rural municipality, like all other lands in Prince Edward Island, is part of Mi'kma'ki, the traditional unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. As you can see in this slide, traditional Mi'kmaq names have been identified from many places throughout the municipality. When we look at physical issues in the municipality, this slide shows how many lots have been approved and how many new houses have been built since 2010-2011. There are only estimated to be just over 1,700 residences in the municipality as a whole, so these numbers indicate a very high development rate in the last 10 years, an increase in housing stock of about 12%. It appears that development in the former community of Afton has seen the most significant growth. We also look at the existing land use distribution in the community. This map is a bit outdated, but it depicts the forest and agricultural land use in the community to 2010. Another consideration is the status of road ownership within the municipal boundaries. As this map shows, private roads make up almost 80 kilometers of road surface. The bulk of that is unpaved and likely under-maintained. Developing an official plan, we also need to consider the components of the local economy. While agriculture and forestry make up the bulk of the land base, the number of people making a living in these industries in the community is quite small, as the vast majority of the local labor force commutes to the city centre for work. The project team found very little information on home-based businesses, but acknowledges that they are a vital part of the current and future economy. Tourism has its own niche in the municipality, but is not nearly as significant as it is in other areas of the province. Finally, we need to understand the local environment in order to develop land use policies and regulations appropriate for the rural municipality of West River. This map illustrates the hydrology of the environment, including wetlands and streams. The map also identifies the areas at risk from climate change, specifically related to flood projections at 3 periods of time: 2020, 2050, and 2100, as well as the areas along the coast at highest risk for erosion. In land use planning, it is critical to consider such information when planning for infrastructure and approving development in areas which may make people highly vulnerable to climate change impacts. As highlighted by public engagement, we know that being climate resilient will be key to a strong future for the municipality. Being resilient means being proactive in developing adaptation and mitigation strategies to deal with climate change projections. The projections identified above are worst-case projections for 2080 and illustrate an increase in the number of very hot days and tropical nights increasing by 20 times compared to the historical average. On the other hand, the number of winter days is dropping by a factor of 10, and the last spring frost is projected to happen 6 weeks earlier. Understanding the implications of such projections will be very important for the municipality moving forward. The Municipal Council has developed and approved a vision statement, which we have drawn upon to create this community vision statement to guide decisions relating to land use policy. So the vision for the rural municipality of West River of 2037 is a rural environment supporting farming, fishing, and recreational activities with beautiful vistas in all directions, built by our community working together. The vision for the community 15 years down the road is described through a series of objectives. Here are proposed general principles. To enhance the appeal of the municipality as a great place to live, work, and play. To protect and enhance the current rural lifestyle and rural economy of the community while offering opportunities for human enrichment and economic growth, and to ensure an adequate supply of land designated to accommodate the projected needs of various land uses within the period of the plan. The official plan contains more specific objectives based on the 4 main themes: the economy, social priorities, physical priorities, and the environment. Here are 3 draft economic objectives: protect existing natural resource industries such as farming, fishing, and forestry, expand local economic opportunities while limiting large-scale non-resource commercial and industrial development, and supporting energy independence. As we think about how these objectives get translated into policy and standards, we have identified several questions for the community. What is the best way to protect resource uses, such as agriculture and fishing, in the municipality? Where should household or industrial scale renewable energy generators be permitted? In particular, we're talking about ground-mounted solar and wind turbines. If tourism is a critical piece of the economy, what are the priorities for enhancing it while protecting the community from overdevelopment? Based on what we've heard, proposed social objectives could include meeting the housing needs of residents, being a safe and resilient community, meeting the health and recreational needs of the community, and being a welcoming community known for its focus on equity and inclusion. One of the bigger questions to consider, given the recent amalgamation, is what are the recreational priorities of the municipality, and are they being met? The high-level environmental objectives are to ensure safe and clean water and wastewater within the municipality, to protect and enhance natural areas in the municipality, and to increase resiliency and minimize contributions to climate change. And the questions that come up are: where should expanded environmental buffers be introduced and enforced? With flooding and erosion being serious threats to the community, how much should be left up to the individual property owner when building? And what are the primary drinking water concerns in the community? The physical objectives include minimizing land use conflicts, balancing individual and shared interests, protecting the rural character of the community, including the built and natural landscape, and ensuring safe, well-maintained, and sustainable infrastructure. And the questions related to the physical characteristics of the municipality are as follows. Rural areas often have a mix of uses, residential, agricultural, and commercial, in the same area. How much of a mix is appropriate in this rural municipality? and development pressures will continue to grow in the municipality. How should the council control it so that the rural quality of life is maintained? In terms of next steps, the live public session for this presentation takes place on January 25th at 7 p.m. Following that, the consulting team will take what we've heard and we will prepare draft documents. These documents, and more importantly, the goals, objectives, policies, and standards they contain, will be shared with the public in early March. In the meantime, more information and discussion will be supported through the project website with discussion boards for each topic. If you wish to have a copy of the questions raised in this presentation, or for more information or to reach out to someone by phone, please contact the municipal office. Comments or questions following the public session will be accepted until February 2nd and can be submitted in writing, by email, or by phone. As you can see here, there are multiple ways to engage in the discussion, through the project website, by email, or by following along on our social media accounts. You can also reach the municipal office by phone. We invite you to follow along at our live session starting at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, January 25th. The session will be live streamed on Facebook, or you can register to receive a link to view the session on Zoom. Thank you for your time. We look forward to hearing from you.